Hello, my name is Alexander and today I want to tell you about two-state controllers, three-state controllers, hysteresis and what it all means. Let us begin with two-state controller without hysteresis. I will get to hysteresis later. So, the two-state controller, as the name suggests, can return two states depending on the input. Each state is described by the parameter. Here is O1 for the off state and O2 for the on state. The E1 is a threshold in which the state changes. Let's say the input to the controller is below E1, so the controller returns O1. But if the input changes, it grows, so it's bigger than E1, then the two-state controller returns O2. Simple as that. The two-state controller with hysteresis. So, now I'll tell you what the hysteresis is. A hysteresis is an offset in input which makes the controller, well, delayed. Let's say we got an input below the E1, so the output of a controller is O1. Now let's say that input is growing, so it's growing. After it reaches E1, well, nothing happens. You can see the flow of the output. So when input grows, it goes this way until it reaches E1 prime. Then it changes to the O2 state, and if it grows further, it's remain in this state. But now, let's say the input was bigger than E1 prime, and is getting smaller. What happens then? Let's see. The inputs get smaller. It goes with this flow, with the arrows, and it remains in an O2 state until it reaches E1. So we got this gap which delays the controller. Three-state controller without hysteresis. As we can see, it's quite similar to the two-state controller, but it got, well, as the name suggests, three states. And it works similar to the two-state controller, with the little fact that after reaching the E1 prime, which should be E2 here, but never mind. After it reaches E1, it goes to the third state, described by O3 parameter. So, the input is somewhere here, let's say. The output is O1. It grows until it reaches E1. Then the state changes to O2. Then it might grow further. So grows until it reaches E1 prime, and then it turns the third state. Let's take a look at three-state controller with hysteresis. You may see that three-state controller with hysteresis is basically two-state controller with hysteresis combined. So, similar to the two-state controller with hysteresis, let's say we got input somewhere here, it grows, the output is O1. And it goes with this flow until it reaches E1 prime. Then it switches to the O2 state. If it grows further, it goes, and again, it goes with this flow. So, going here until it reaches E2 prime, Then it switches to the third state, O3. Now let's say the input is somewhere here and it's getting smaller. It's getting smaller, smaller, smaller. Here it goes with this flow, so it's delayed. And it's state O3 until it reaches input, it reaches E2. It changes output to O2. And again, smaller, 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 smaller. It goes with this flow. So when it reaches E1, it changes its state to O1 again. And thank you for your attention. See ya in the next video.